Good morning, students. Our today's topic is measurement of unit area. Measurement of unit area in terms of measuring the distance between 2 points, measuring the distance between 2 objects, measuring the distance between 2 segments, measuring distance between different features in a particular topographical map. First and foremost, we need to understand that if you are to go by measurement in terms of unit area, we need to understand first and foremost what is a scale. Scale here, if we are given a map to measure, first you need to understand what is the meaning of the scale, what is the unit of the scale, and this same scale, you need to know where and when to apply it. Now, scale on a map, it shows a relationship between 2 different points. I take it again. Scale shows relationship between 2 different places. Shows relationship between 2 points. That is to say, if you are to go by any measurements, there are 2 things to be considered in map reading. Measurement in terms of regular shape, measurement in terms of irregular shape. That is to say, the measurement you are to take, the measurements you are going to take, is it regular shape or irregular shape? Now, let's start this way. Now, this is a good example. It's a measurement of unit area. Now, measurements of unit area. Measurement of unit area. For example, this chart we have on the board, if we are to calculate now, measurement of unit area, if we are to take this one for example, calculate the distance between A and B. First and foremost, you need to understand what is scale. And here we are talking about scale is a relationship. It shows a relationship between 2 different points. One, the first relationship here is that here we have a good example of scale. And this scale, the 1 centimeter we have here, it represents the actual measurement. The actual measurement taken, used on the what? Paper. That is the unit. Unit in the sense that the unit in terms of what? The measurement used on a particular what? Paper or on a particular map. The unit is in centimeter. While this one representing, showing the relationship of the measurement taken from the actual ground. From the actual grounding, it says that already we know geographically that one, now going by the units on the map is centimeter, because when you are to take any measurements, there is no how your paper can accommodate kilometer in terms of what measurements. So the only suitable unit that can be used on the paper is centimeter, and that is to say, we said scale shows the relationship here. 1 centimeter is to half kilometer on the ground. It means that every 1 centimeter interval on your map is equivalent to half kilometer on the ground. Having understood that, now we are asked that we should calculate the distance between A and B. If you are to calculate the distance between A and B, first and foremost, we know what is our scale. But here we are on this map, we did not really know what exactly is the measurement. But how do we determine that? Since this is irregular shape, we use our thread along this very particular irregular shape. That is from the starting point like this. You will measure it, and equally what? Follow the pattern, the appearance of this irregular shape from beginning all through to the end. That is use of thread, right? But remember, as you are using the thread, it is very important that anytime you use the thread, you start your measurement from this spot to this spot. You should try to use mark. That is to show what? Where this curve, where if in case now you misplace or you change the position of the thread, you can as well start from here. You know that these points, this is where you mark, and you can equally what? Continue from there. So also you continue to the end. Now we have our own measurement in which we don't know what exactly is the interpretation. How do you interpret it? You will come by using your ruler. This is our ruler, right? So we will now stretch the thread along this very particular ruler. When we stretch it, whatsoever you have, that is your measurement in centimeter. Now let's say we have 30 as it is here. You just come here and write 30 what? Centimeter. Now, as you can see here, there are two different words scale here. 30 centimeter on this very particular map, while 1 is to 150,000 on the ground. How do we do that? First and foremost, you must convert first. How do you convert? It means you now say A, B is equal to 30 centimeter. 30 centimeter times, what is our scale? Which is 1 ratio what? 50,000. 50,000 is what we are to take here. All over 100,000. All over what? 100,000. Why do we say all over 100,000? Where is this 100,000 from? I know that is a good question, and which demand for what? Explanation. Now, the 100,000 100,000 here, representing here as a what? 1 kilometer. Because in every 1 kilometer, we're going to have 100 what? 1,000 centimeter. So it means that here the unit that we have is in centimeter. And here you are asked to calculate the distance. It means that you must as well convert it back to the what? Real measurement using the same units to get what? The actual distance on the ground. Physically, we're not there, but we have what? The scale. So how do we do it now? It means that this one, you want to convert these measurements to the what? Actual measurements value of what we have on the ground. Now, let's do it in form of cross multiplication since we know where we have this 100,000 from. So this 0 cancel this 0. This cancel this. This cancel this. This cancel this. Now we are left with what? We are left with what? 50. So it means that we are left with 5. It means that we will now what? We will multiply 30 times what? 5 divided by 10. Now, how do we do it? We do it this way. First and foremost, let's break it down to our own level of understanding. This is 30. This is 5. Now, this 5 times 0, we have 0. 5 times 3, we have 15. Right? Now, this 150 is going to be our value. While this 10 will come further here. Good. So now, we still do the same cross multiplication. 0 cancel 0. Now, if I have to go by that, we are going to be left with what? 1 all over what? 15. So it means that A, B is equal to 1 all over 15 all over 1. That is to say, we have 15 kilometer. 15 watts? Kilometer. So that's the one. In terms of a measurement of units. So, with this example, we have calculated the distance between A to B. Starting from the words, centimeter units, and converting it back to what? Scale. How? AB is equal to 30 centimeter, which we have here. So with this, I believe we all understand what exactly is measurement of units. Another example. Now, homework. Having understood the steps, the procedure for calculating distance, converting from centimeter to kilometer. Now, you are going to calculate the distance between A and B using the above scale. That is to say, you will use your thread to measure. You stretch it along this curve, that is irregular shape line. When you stretch it, then make sure that you do mark the beginning. That is on your thread, white thread, you mark it. That's dot, whichever way, with your ink. That is the same thing here. So that when you come to stretch it along your ruler, you'll be able to know the beginning and the extent of it. That's the end. Now, going by this, you apply the same method That is to say, whatever is your value you have from your ruler, you will write it out. You multiply it by the scale, and whatsoever you convert it. Thanks for listening.